Hello to all of you. Good afternoon. This class that we are going to do now is about the genitive or the possessive case. It is used to indicate possession, and it is very important in English, and there is no translation for it in Spanish. We don't have a possessive case in Spanish. And here we have the possessive, which is formed with an apostrophe S, which indicates possession. Here, for example, you have the sentence, the spies were arrested, and here you have spies in the plural, and then you have the spy's companion was a woman, and here we have a spy in the singular and an apostrophe S, which means that the companion belongs to the woman. If you have a plural noun, like the spy's companions were women, and here you have a word which ends in S for the plural, so the apostrophe is put after the S and you don't need to add another one. As we have said, it indicates possession. It is written at the end of the word, at the end of the noun with an apostrophe S. As you have seen, they can be plural nouns or singular nouns. When we have an irregular pure plural, for example, like men, and you have an apostrophe S, it means men's, or children, which is also an irregular plural, you have an apostrophe S on children. It is not necessary, as I said before, it is not necessary to add the S if the word ends in an S, except you have Christian names that end in S, and you have, for example, Charles and James, and there you have an apostrophe and another S that is added. Yes, the pronunciation is more or less the same. It doesn't vary very much. And here you have the different nouns that can take a genitive. Yes, you have animate nouns, for example, boy, man, teacher, baby. All those are animate nouns. They refer to people, and so there you can add the apostrophe S. You can also add the apostrophe S with animals, yes? For example, the dog's food is under the table, or the lion's paw is healing well. There they are animate nouns, so you can add the apostrophe S. We also use it with places that are full of people, such as hospital, office, school. Those places have a lot of people working in them, or such as London, where you have a lot of people living there. So then there also we can use the apostrophe S. As you can see, the school's head is very strict with timetables, means that the head that belongs to the school, or the head of the school, is very strict. There you have London's streets, and also these are the streets that you find in London, which is a place that is full of people. The genitive is not correct with inanimate objects. It is used sometimes, but it's not grammatically correct. It is rather informal, and so we don't say the car's door, or the table's leg, or the stove's a burner. Yes, we say the door of the car, the leg of the table, or the burner of the stove. So don't use the genitive with inanimate objects. Depending on the meaning of the genitives, they can be grouped together as follows. You have 5 different ways that you can group the genitive. You have specifying genitives that answer to the question whose. Who does something belong to? And so if you say the girl's red dress was very pretty, we know that the red dress belongs to the girl. If we say the teacher's books fell on the floor, there we know that the books belong to the teacher. Yes, there is no doubt about that. With the classifying genitives, we have they answer to the question what kind of. And so here you have women's clothes are very expensive nowadays. And here this is a classifying genitive because it says that clothes that are made for women, especially for women, are the ones that are expensive, yes? And in the other one, he sends his children to an expensive boys' school. It means that the school is specially for boys. Those are classifying genitives. We also have independent genitives that refer to places or brands that we all know about, and they imply some kind of ellipsis, yes? If you say, I do my Christmas shopping at Macy's, we know that Macy's is a very big department store in London, and Macy's will go with an apostrophe S. If you say the chemists or the grocers, and there also we will have an apostrophe S, and those refer to small neighborhood shops that belong to only one owner. So there you have the chemists, and it means that the shop belongs to the chemist, yes? Or you have a bottle of Jack Daniels stood on a table, and we know that Jack Daniels is a brand for whiskey. There you have the other one that says she's staying at her friend's, and here we have an apostrophe S because we are referring to a friend's house. Then we have time and measure, and refers to exactly what the meaning of the name. They are time and measure, and here you have 10 minutes hesitation and a minute's hesitation, and here you have the apostrophe before the S because you are referring to only 1 minute, yes? Whereas in the next example, where we had 30 minutes wait between trains, and here we have the apostrophe after the S because it is a plural noun. We are talking about 30 minutes. In the next one, where you have a mile's walk, the same thing happens because a mile is only 1, so you are going to have the apostrophe before the S at the end of the noun. The group genitive can be used in some post-modified noun phrases, such as the teacher of music's room, and here we know that we are talking about the room that belongs to the teacher of music. Or the heir apparent's name, and here we know that we are talking about the heir apparent, and the name belongs to him. There you have, they are living in someone else's house, and here also we are going to use the genitive. The one that is by far the most complicated and the one that always gives most problems is the double genitive. To talk about the double genitive, you have to make sure that you are talking about one of several. Yes, there is no equivalent structure in Spanish, and remember that we are always talking about one of several. The structure is always going to begin with an indefinite article, a or an, because we are talking about only one. Yes. Please look at the notes that I sent, the notes that I put on the platform, because there are special notes about the double genitive. It is complicated but not impossible. We are going to have then an indefinite article, and then we are going to have an of phrase, which we introduce the owner, and the owner must always be definite and personal. We use a noun or a possessive pronoun. And here you have the examples. A son of Fiona's is getting married next week. And here we have a son of Fiona's. This means that Fiona has several sons and one of them is getting married. The same thing happens with the next sentence where you have a student of hers. Hers is a possessive pronoun that indicates, I imagine, the teacher. And so here you have only one student of that teacher's did very well in the exam. You must remember here that you are always talking about one of several. Yes, that is the most important thing you have to remember. In the next example, you have a friend of mine went to live in Hungary, and there you have an indefinite pronoun. You have the noun, you have an all phrase with a possessive pronoun. A friend of mine means that I have many friends, but only one is going to live in Hungary. And the other one where you have an indefinite pronoun, article, that starts with an, that is an because the next word starts with a vowel. And so you have an enemy of the minister's, apostrophe S, was apprehended last night. Okay, this of the genitives is the most complicated always. So please pay attention and see if you get it right. Yes? Okay. This is all for now. With this, this is a tutorial class, so you have an obligatory task to do after with the genitives. Okay, that's all for now, and I wish you all the best in this semester.